understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
When I eat a brain, I get visions.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
You have failed this city.
Jesus, what kind of a preacher are you?
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
Because where I'm from, your grandson becomes the greatest hero in the universe.
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, December 1st, 2018. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined.
And I'm Sara Netzley, academic by day, freelance writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And we have 6 new episodes for you this week.
Six is good. 6 is good.
It's the number of the beast, Ed. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Wait, no, that's 6.
There was
six. We only have 1 6. We're fine.
6. Yeah, no, that's Robert Wool from Batman 89. Should I open 6 cases of champagne? Yeah, 6 is good. 6 is good.
Hey, so how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I had a very busy week. Lots of stuff going on. So I've ended up watching all 6 episodes within the last 24 hours.
Whereas I watch them almost contemporaneously with their airing, which is unusual for me because usually I'm the one who's radically time shifting. So Ed's going to have laser-like memory of details because he just absorbed them. My goldfish memory is going to have to stretch back to last Sunday. So it's going to be interesting.
Yes. So have you finished all the leftovers? You're coming down off that turkey high.
Yeah, we're kind of back to real life again. I probably need to get rid of all the leftovers because nobody safely should be eating those. Anything that isn't consumed now needs to be bid farewell. And we're shifting. We've done a hard shift into Christmas at our house, so that's what we're doing.
Okay. Oh wow. Oh yeah. Yeah. My mother's been slowly going through Miracle on 34th Street. All those
traditions,
Yeah. Of course. I'm waiting for the Die Hard Lethal Weapon double feature to come up.
Oh, sure, naturally.
Somehow I always have to initiate that in my house. I don't know why.
That is strange. From what I know of Mama O'Hare, that's weird that she wouldn't be like, let's do Die Hard, Ed, tonight.
So yeah. Okay. Going on. You want to just jump right in?
Yeah. We got 6 episodes. Let's do it.
All right. So first up, Supergirl. Season 4, Episode 7, Rather the Fallen Angel. James's meeting with Agent Liberty backfired and turned into blackmail. Kara was unsure about trusting Manchester Black as they investigated fission rods stolen by the Children of Liberty. Lena did a terrible job not being friendly to the first human subject to test her panacea. Last minute reveal, Manchester parked his motorcycle outside the Lockwood Steel plant.
So this was the first miss for me pretty much this season on Supergirl. I didn't super dig this episode. How about you?
Really? Oh no, I was into it. Okay.
Aw. So let's fight. Let's do this.
Sure. What didn't you like?
I felt like the characters made dumb decisions. I felt like Kara going with Manchester to do this infiltration without telling Alex. It's one thing if you take the DEO. It's another thing if you don't say to Alex, hey, I'm doing this. I think it's going to be best as a stealth mission. Or leave a note. Okay, go into not Ellis Island. Thanks, bye. Like, nothing? Nothing. And don't even get me started on James. What was he trying to do? What? Yeah.
James was very stupid. I think I can agree with you on that. James was very stupid in this episode.
Well, and
I think it's the kind of thing where it's like, my brand is being co-opted, so I've got to do something, and you guys are the ones who are doing it. So I figure if I like confront you and we could talk it out, and I can, maybe convince you that this whole, cult you've decided is misguided. I think he was being kind of naive and not thinking anything through.
Oh yeah, and to couch it in journalism, tell me your story. No, man, that's not what you're doing there. That's you're doing this for ego and I really had a problem with him being all noble and saying, I don't care about my reputation. If I have to do this to keep you, Tom, safe, I will sacrifice my reputation. Dude, it's not your reputation. It's Guardian lending this mantle of legitimacy to the Children of Liberty if you do this. And what are the broader implications? And it didn't even occur to him what it would look like to have Guardian siding with this radical extremist group, even if he comes out later and denounces them and said he was being held hostage. It just muddies the water. It was dumb. James was dumb. Lena was good. James was dumb. I like the Lena stuff. I will say that.
Lena and Subject 0331.
Subject 331 with the curly hair. Yes. Oh, Adam. I was almost wondering, like, if we interacted with him before, but we didn't. We hadn't. He was a new character.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of play by numbers thing where like, she's gonna be standoffish, and then he's gonna, not. He's gonna be so charming that she can't help herself. But I thought the twist at the end where where he ends up dying, I thought that was really powerful.
Yeah. And I will say that's quite a feat to make us care about a character we only met once, who started off as like tell the male scientist another man says hi, and to twist it around then to where I genuinely felt sad when all that went down. I thought it was well written. We learned some things about Lena's childhood and some of those personal fears, and I thought the Lena stuff was great. I was sad that it was tacked on to an episode that didn't work as well on any other front for me. Quick question. If they have alien power dampeners on not Ellis Island, why didn't they use them on Parasite? Why are we not using those alien power dampeners all the freaking time?
Well, because they left the...
This is the
because they left them on Shelly Island.
If you try to move them off Shelly Island, they will disintegrate into dust.
Yeah, well...
They cannot be used anywhere but there.
Yeah,
they're held together with rust and barnacles, and if you try to move them, that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. I did notice in the conversation where Lena talks about her real mother dying, that to me clues in that Lillian is probably not. That establishes that Lillian is not her birth mother. So when John Cryer shows up at Lex and he's only 5 years older than Lillian, that kind of makes sense because she's not his mom either. Does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, I actually did wonder that. Does that mean she also adopted Lex? Would that explain the age weirdness? I still think 5 years between mother and son is hinky, but adopting children means you have a little bit more flexibility with age. So, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I read something interesting on the AV Club recap, I think it was, that pointed out that what Manchester Black is doing, is it that bad? If Manchester Black was doing this as Oliver Queen on Arrow, he'd be the hero. Nobody would bat an eye. He's killing Children of Liberty who were going to kill and terrorize aliens. He interrogated a cop who's doing these subversive vigilante actions in the interest of xenophobia. Oliver Queen does that, and you're like, yeah, Oliver, you're going to save this city. Manchester Black does it, and Supergirl's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, Manchester Black I thought was really strong here, and it's very true to the comics, where he's a character who has the powers and has a very weird way of looking at the world, and he's kind of doing the wrong thing for the right reasons. And I think that's true here, where like he wants to stop the Children of Liberty, but he's taking it too far. And it's the kind of thing where like on the surface, if hey, what am I doing wrong? You can't point out any like one specific thing, except maybe killing people. But I thought the idea that he is kind of ruthless and he's, that double cross, I thought that was like one of my favorite moments of the season. Where like he turns on Supergirl and just basically says, "Hey man, I need an audience with that guy," and it really shows what lengths he's willing to go to, and also like that guy broke John's heart. I mean, like,
I know, how dare he?
when John showed up at the apartment crying and being like, "I'm sorry." And also an empathy amplifier. There are a lot of people who would like to use that on certain politicians nowadays. I'm just gonna say, like, if
that's how L Corp makes all their money, empathy amplifiers for politicians.
That is a very dangerous weapon. Just gonna point that out. All right. So.
In conclusion, I missed the dragon.
Yes.
Bring back the dragon.
Yeah. What's Spike up to these days? Let's find out.
I'd watch that webisode.
Mm-hmm. All right. Was there any news on Supergirl?
Just that this episode is the Kevin Smith directed episode. We're going to perhaps learn a little bit more about the new Catco intern's sleep powers. And it looks like Kara's going to have to work with the Legion a little bit. So I hope that means a little more brainy and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to this. And I know your feelings on Kevin Smith are deep and wide, like the Rio Grande.
Yeah.
And Melissa Benoist did an interview recently with sci-fi.com, and she said that Lena's secret experiments are going to be a slow burn reveal. So that's not the kind of thing that's going to be discovered quickly. It's going to unfold over the season. And she also said that she has no idea yet how Lex is going to be introduced. So they have not told her that yet. So I don't know if that means the writers are still cooking that up or what. But Lex remains to be a question mark in terms of how he's going to fit in.
Yeah, I will also say about Lena, I've been going through all the Universal Monster movies for my Franchise Chronicles blog, which will, I'm going to be throwing up another article again soon. But one theme that seems to run through a lot of those movies is a scientist doing experiments to try and save the world. So I don't think this is not a good look for Lena.
You know what they say about the road to hell.
Oh yeah.
It's attractive and fun.
Oh, I was gonna say horrible traffic. But all right. Cool. Is that all the news?
That's it.
All right. Moving on to Arrow, Season 7, Episode 7, The Slabside Redemption. Oliver figured out that Stanley killed Officer Dunbar and promised Bronze Tiger to help him from the outside. Ricardo Diaz infiltrated Slabside and set all the inmates loose on Oliver. Last minute reveal, Oliver walked out of prison and kissed Felicity.
Okay, first of all, my Felicity heart is happy that he's out. Aw. But mostly I have to say, there were horses and a man on fire and I killed a guy with a trident. Like, that was a great episode.
Yes, yeah, this was one of those nonstop, one story, we're just moving forward. Yeah, and hiding the battery in the soap, I thought that was a good trick.
I enjoyed the MacGyver of it all. I enjoyed Diaz as the heavy breathing phone caller. When he's on the other end in a visit, he's just like, and then that was, and then Oliver, I need chewing gum and a piece of tinfoil and this soap, and I'm gonna cause a prison riot.
Well, like when he does that, what's weird is like Stanley says, "Oh, you gonna pull a Shawshank?" And I didn't realize that pulling a Shawshank was walking out into the prison and fighting all of the guards.
I do not remember Andy Dufresne doing that.
No.
Is that in the director's cut?
Yes.
I don't remember Red putting a can of soup in a pillowcase.
No.
Maybe he did. It's been a while.
But I guess they had to throw that reference. They had to throw Shawshank in there somewhere. It's like you can't have someone in prison for 8 episodes and not mention Shawshank. So I think they kind of shoehorned that in.
That was much more Nicolas Cage in The Rock. I have to say that was a much more appropriate prison reference, I think. And this was the pillow fight episode, for the record, so that makes sense now. I get it. That was the action in this was great. Oliver like flying, swirling around the different levels of the prison, and the action was fantastic. I really did enjoy this.
Yeah, I think this is the best parkour that Stephen Amell showed off in a while.
Yes,
with all the jumping around. I like Michael Jai White getting to stretch his fighting muscles. I thought that whole thing where they just walk into the cell block and take down everyone trying to save the guards. I thought that was a great scene. Lots of really great action. And yet the takedown of Ricardo Diaz, there was so much buildup that when he finally gets to take down Diaz, it almost felt anticlimactic.
I felt the same way. And in part, I think it's just colored by my feelings on Diaz, which are, at this point, I don't even remember what he's so mad about. Like, I guess Oliver took away his triad influence, was it, or something like that? I don't know. I can't remember. He's just mad all the time, and I feel like his motivation isn't strong enough for that. And so he bellows, and he's ridiculous, and we've had a million chances to kill him, and we still don't. So he's in a prison cell now. May he stay there. He's not going to stay there. He's not going to stay there.
Well, he's got a shank in his chest. That's got to count for something.
We
right?
wouldn't be that lucky. I super enjoyed there was at one point a counterweight railing move where was it Oliver who had one prisoner on like one side of a rope and then another on another side, and I don't remember the details. You've seen it more recently than I have. So, but that was great.
I think that was Samson. He just like lowered him from the rope. Yeah, that was
good. I enjoyed that. I was taking notes on my phone for reasons I cannot explain when I was watching this, and one of my notes is ducking Stanley. Because my phone autocorrects. That's my feelings on Stanley. Here's what I think is kind of interesting. Last season, I was super excited about Michael Emerson's character. Kind of nebbishy, computer nerdy guy being the big bad and being the scary guy that have to take down. And then he died kind of quickly, and it became Ricardo Diaz. And that was disappointing to me. Do we dare hope that this season, Ricardo Diaz is going to wane in power and influence as Stanley kind of ascends to be that sort of Michael Emerson type? I've forgotten the name of the character Michael Emerson played. But will ascend.
Caden James.
Yeah, will Stanley become the Caden James, smaller, underperform? He will not underperform. Underestimate him at your peril. Could that be possible? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think think that would be a great move. I think it's the kind of thing where like Oliver's home, he's comfortable. It seems like everything's okay. The city's not in any danger anymore. Maybe they have to just wrangle up the longbow hunters since, they've kind of been cut off from Diaz now. And then just out of nowhere, you just see Stanley running around Star City killing people and claiming that it's not his fault that he's killing people. I think that moment, in that storage room where he just goes nuts and you just see exactly how crazy he is. I thought that was really frightening. I think that definitely is a possibility. I don't know if it'll go that way though, but we can hope.
Yeah, it was just an option that floated through my head as I was watching that, because I thought he was very scary, both tranking Oliver and then, giving that speech before he escaped. Just good performance there. Jason, my husband, feels vindicated all along. He's been like, that guy's a plant. And so as of this week, he said, okay, he's not a plant, but there is something wrong with him. So he's taking a credit for a win on that one.
Yeah. And also like you've got to respect him, and you can't treat him lightly, because the guy took out Vinnie Jones.
Yeah. That is no small accomplishment.
Yeah, and I was sad to see him go. I any excuse to see Vinnie Jones on screen. And I thought he did a great job this season. Poor guy. Really mean guy, who probably deserved that knife in his chest. But,
but what a way to go.
So yeah. And, Diggle and Felicity, waiting for Oliver outside, almost to the point where, like, how long were you there? Did you hear all the screaming that was going on inside? Could Diggle have called in an Argus task force?
I for their sake, I hope they just rolled up, because otherwise that would have been, I feel like Felicity would have been tearing at the bars herself to get in. I kind of hope that Diggle doesn't try to take any credit for getting Oliver out, because if anything, Diggle got in the way of getting Oliver out. It felt weird to have him there, because he's been so divorced from the fight to free Oliver this season that honestly Diggle could have been out there and been like, I could call it into Argus, but screw that guy. Like that's the Diggle this season for some reason. Anyway.
Yeah. Our buddy at TV Fan Maniac has been tweeting all week about that. I won't the one specific tweet I'll throw in here. Diggle has become a true annoyance to watch. I am over the prison storyline. Poor Oliver, the only person he can truly count on is Felicity. Everyone else sucks, and I'm not even exaggerating. It gets more intense from there. I won't even go into TV Fan Maniac's thoughts on Laurel, but I'm sure most people can guess.
Well, we didn't see her this week, so it's good all the way around.
There we go.
But I mean, to be fair, I've not super enjoyed the trip this season. This episode was great. Fantastic action. I am excited now that Oliver's out of prison to see how has this experience changed him, and how does he reincorporate, and what happens with the team. I am super optimistic for the season. Looking forward, I'm excited to see where they go. How about you? I
second all of those motions. I want to see where they go, and I feel like the rest of this season is wide open. Let's gear up for it. Let's see what we're doing now. What news do we have from Arrow?
Well, and that does kind of pertain to the rest of the season. We have some pictures of Catherine McNamara, who is joining the show in a role as a street fighter. We don't know much more about her than that. Her first episode is this week, so we should find out very soon. There's been a lot of speculation about who she could be. One thought was, if she's in the future, could she be Oliver and Felicity's daughter? And I tell you, in those pictures I've seen of her, she looks a lot like Felicity to me. She's just kind of got a certain tough blondness, I guess. If she's in the present, there's a lot of options. Is she the new Green Arrow? Is she somebody different? Is she antagonist? Is she friend? I will be curious how that unfolds.
Okay. All right.
And that's that for Arrow this week.
All right. Next up, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Season 4, Episode 6. Tender is the Nate. Mona discovered it was Ava's birthday and got a little too close with Nora Dark on her first day of work at the Time Bureau. Nate brought Hank to the Wave Rider for a ride-along to justify the Legends' funding and hunt a Minotaur in 1927 Paris. Last-minute reveal, Nate toasted the Legends at his goodbye pizza party and welcomed Charlie to the team.
Listen, stay out of this, Hemingway. Is there some law that requires you to include Hemingway and the Fitzgeralds if you set your piece of entertainment in 1920s Paris, or did they find an abandoned script for Woody Allen's Midnight in Paris? Is it one of those two things?
I think it could be both. But yeah, they do go hand in hand. It's Fitzgerald and Hemingway.
As always, this show makes me embarrassingly happy. Just embarrassingly happy to watch this show.
Yes.
So much fun.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
you say things, otherwise I'm just going to gush.
Well, and of course we can't forget Salvador Dali, and of course no one's going to be able to figure out that sketch.
Ignore the melting clocks.
Yeah. I thought all of that stuff was great. I thought Nate and Hank Haywood. Oh man, Thomas F. Wilson is really outdoing himself. I thought all that stuff was really fun. Of course, he's a huge Hemingway fan.
Of course.
And of course. Now, the real thing here, I think that this episode demonstrates is that it's probably, you probably want to have a second thought before you hire the person delivering your takeout to care for your prison full of magical creatures.
It just seemed like there wasn't a background check or anything. It just sort of happened.
Just like, it seemed a little convenient. Like, oh, okay. Like, and that her first day at work is the first time she's meeting Ava. I think.
Yeah, that's a surprise.
and yet somehow it just turned into a lovely girls' night in.
I loved every second of that. When Mona hears about Eve being a possessed childhood witch and Ava being a clone with fake memories, and she was just like, I need to hear both of your life stories immediately. And just the cake and the wine and the relaxing, and you don't get to see Nora in that light very often. It was so lovely. And Mona met Gillian Anderson. Mona is kind of goals for me at this point.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like we always talk about how like Nate and Ray are always kind of like, you know, geek fanboys. And I think this is the first time you're seeing a Legends fangirl on as a character on Legends. You know, it's
yeah, it is. I mean, I'm very, very far away from a young 20s Asian woman.
Yeah,
but it is kind of like seeing myself in some ways. It's just like, yeah, girl, I share those interests.
Yeah, but it's almost like a super fan of the show won a contest and got to be be a character now.
Yes. And it's great so far.
Yeah. I thought all of that was great. I thought Ray hiding in the envelope or kind of getting stuck in the envelope, was that romantic? Was it? I'm asking.
I think so. Yes. I think it was him he was working around the rules that Ava put up. I thought it was kind of sweet. I was a little disappointed not to see an actual Ray Palmer love letter, and he's such a helpless goof. Poor Ray. I think if Nora was uninterested in him, that would be super creepy, but she is not, and she welcomed it. Well, she did. So I rule yes, but then I have Ray blinders. Like everything he does is great. So. Mm-hmm. Did it ring any alarms for you? Like, oh no, dude.
No. I thought I wasn't sure if it was weird. I wasn't sure if it was too much. That's why.
Well, I do. Nora is trying to put some distance, and she's trying not to encourage. I mean, she actually says it in this episode. If you don't think you have a future, there's no point in dwelling on good things in the present. And so I think she's trying to avoid that. So in some ways, yeah, that is pushy of him to do that. But she seemed very pleased by it. I guess as long as he was willing to leave immediately if she said, I don't want you here. Okay, I'll allow it. But Yeah, it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But it's still Ray, and I still will allow it.
Yeah. Also, like,
and he saved the day,
Definitely. Also, I'm not sure that Sara brought the right people into the field with her.
Why would you take Mick but leave Zari and Ray?
Also, like,
exactly.
Also, like, Constantine is your guy. Like, I feel like anything involving magical creatures now, he should be out there with you because he'll be able to pick up. I figured he would have been able to figure out a Minotaur the second he saw Dolly.
Yes.
Now, granted, a lot of this was a little convenient because Ray had to be on the ship so that they could convince him to go back to the Time Bureau. So a lot of this was like convenience of writing. But like I think that the trip might have been a little bit more successful faster if they switched up that lineup a little bit.
Agreed. On the other hand, it let Mick identify himself as an author, which also made me so happy. He's grown, our little baby. He's expressing himself. He's an author. Oh my god. They grew up so fast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, the less time Hank is around Mick is probably
that's what I'm saying. Mick is not the guy you want to take with the Hank on a mission. It's just not, no. But it was still great. I now cannot think about Minotaurs without thinking about Batman the Animated Series. So, there's that.
Yeah, definitely.
And a little bit Tiffany Rice's The Red if we have any kind of intersectionality between romance novels and DC TV Report, but both of those two properties have Minotaurs as well. So,
all right.
But no, I thought the Minotaur effects were pretty good. Like that definitely was a man with a full head. And
yeah,
I enjoyed the lute and the lyre and the guitar and the singing, and yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. Really heartwarming. Good character movement. This show's cooking. This show is cooking.
It really is. And even things like, Ava allowing the palm trees in the cell with one of the magical creatures. That also was a moment that just, aw. Yeah. This show's doing well this season. Little show.
All right. Any news for Legends?
Oh, so much. Okay. We are going to see this week in Hell No, Dolly, an appearance by Pee Wee Herman. Ooh. According to the show writer Twitter account, they said, look out for Pee Wee. They did not say Paul Rubens. They specifically said Pee Wee Herman. So I don't know if that means he is appearing in character or if they were just calling him that because that's what he's best known as. So I guess we'll have to tune in and find out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Episode 13's title is going to be, are you ready?
Yes.
Egg MacGuffin.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And it has a picture on the script cover of an egg kind of looking scaly. It looks a little bit like the Game of Thrones dragon eggs, sort of, kind of. So I assume it's going to be an egg they have to get. I mean, like, that feels like the egg is going to drive the plot. So... let's see what else. Brandon Routh did an interview with Sci-Fi Wire and said that they're intentionally moving slowly on the Ray and Nora romance. Sometimes if you move those things too fast, it could be a flash in the pan and be over too soon. But he said, Ray he's not had a good relationship. He's always been the third leg of a love triangle, and he deserves some happiness, and they're trying to do that with this relationship. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It does worry me, Sarah and Ava are so happy, and if Ray and Nora get together, do we get to have two happy couples on the ship? And, does that lead to inevitable heartache and breakup? And I feel like TV teaches us that we can't have happy couples for the long term, and that worries me. So I just hope I want our Legends friends to be happy. That's all.
That's all we want.
We're not asking for much.
No.
Let's see. Last thing. The mid-season finale is actually going to be kind of a two-parter. It's starting this week with Hell No, Dolly, and ending next week with Legends of To Meow Meow. And it looks like it's going to include a couple of alt-reality versions of the Legends, including puppets some of the puppets actually represent, being the Legends members.
Mm.
So my supposition, or my wildest dream, would be this is kind of like how Zari got to fit into Team There We Go again last with Time Loop. That maybe this is how Charlie gets to know the team by seeing different versions of them in different realities. I think that would be really cool. I don't know that that's what's going to happen. I'm just hoping.
Yeah. I think that would would definitely be cool. Sorry, Charlie. All right. So I guess we'll find about that next week.
Very soon. Yeah.
All right. We're moving right along here. So our next episode is The Flash, Season 5, Episode 7, O Come All Ye Thankful. Orland Dwyer was warned by Dr. Ambrose to stay away from the hospital and thought back on how he came to care for his niece Grace. Barry and the team tried stopping Joss Martin, the Weather Witch, from killing her father, and Nora became worried Barry was risking too much being a superhero. Sherlock and convinced Cisco and Caitlin that Thanksgiving was a stupid holiday. Last minute reveal, Sherlock and Cisco showed the team footage of Orland visiting Grace and claimed he was Cicada.
This was a busy episode.
Yes, a lot going on here.
Where do you want to start?
Well, I think it's interesting because this episode, they did on The Flash this week what Supergirl did a few weeks ago, where we basically show you the backstory of this season's big villain. What was different between this episode and the way they did it on Supergirl is that it wasn't the main focus of the episode. We weren't spending all day with Orland. It was cutting back to the team dealing with Weather Witch. So I don't know. I mean, I think you kind of understand who Orland is and where he's coming from, and they definitely humanized him. And we understood kind of his deal, but I think that you could have gone a little bit more in depth. And I feel like the Weather Witch storyline, well, it was great effects and it was well done, but we're kind of rehashing the same thing that Nora's had going on with Iris and Barry for the last few weeks.
And I almost wonder, could that Orland storyline have sustained a full episode? It was pretty simple, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. We don't need super complicated villain backstories. The actions of heroes and villains fighting hurt his niece, who he came to love, and now he's out to get him. Okay, got it. And he was infected with the tech. Is that a whole episode's worth? I don't know. And I do agree. We've had a lot of fathers and daughters. I mean, this was fathers and daughters. That was this episode. So
yeah.
Sorry if I just stole your winner of the week.
No, it's
that
fine.
Feels like an Ed theme. And I kind of enjoyed that. The Weather Witch. How was that guy the Weather Witch's dad? They look the same age, or do I just have age blindness?
Well, no, I think he probably sired her when he was like 16.
Actually, good point. He did say still they looked really close in age. But you've got good dad, you've got bad dad, you've got a reluctant dad, Orland, who came around, and I sort of enjoyed the theme of that. It would have been way too much to shoehorn in Caitlin's dad issues as well, but it is kind of weird that you had a big dad issue episode with Caitlin, and then this is a big dad episode too. So it's just dads this season. So many dads.
Yeah, it was weird. I guess the timing didn't work out, but this is the Thanksgiving episode and it's coming a week late.
Yeah.
Which was fun. I think you're right about the Orland's arc probably wouldn't have sustained the whole episode because he didn't interact with anyone from Teen Flash in that. It was all just about, Grace's parents died and he's put in charge of her and, kind of basically figures out how to be a parent to her. Mm-hmm. Although that when he opens the fridge and there's like one thing of Chinese takeout, takeout hasn't looked like that in the carton in like years. So there was probably like nothing in there, like half a thing of fried rice. I don't know.
Not safe for consumption is what you're saying.
well, just like, come on, man, come on. Why are you even saving that? But yeah, I thought that was interesting. What was the other thing I was gonna talk about? Thanksgiving.
The political awakening of Caitlin and Cisco getting woke.
Yes. Well, actually, at Bowerfett pointed out, Caitlin baking on the Flash. The merging of Hallmark and DC TV begins.
It's true. She's awesome on A Christmas Joy, which I have seen, so she totally is baking on that.
Okay. Oh, that's a thing. That was a movie that she was.
She's in a baking centric Christmas Hallmark Lifetime whatever episode or movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else. I did love. Was it Sherlock who says? We're having this conversation on what I can only assume is the cantina of a starship. I don't remember who said it. I just love the line.
yeah. I think that was Sherlock. But yeah. The whole Thanksgiving thing, I think it was weird. It just felt like they needed something for Cisco and Caitlin to do. I'm not buying that they would take Sherlock's bait so easily.
Agreed. I also don't buy that they wouldn't have given some thought to those issues before. They seem like pretty thoughtful. Well, Caitlin seems like a pretty thoughtful person. I don't know about Cisco. And I say that with all respect for his various myriad interests and abilities. I have a couple thoughts about the Thanksgiving scene. First of all, I don't think you're supposed to clean a cast iron skillet, are you? Aren't you? If the seasoning is the point of the skillet. I am not a cooking expert. If anybody out there knows, let me know. But I thought the deal was you season it, and that's where the magic comes from.
Yeah.
Number two, there was a heart-to-heart that Barry and Nora had just before dinner, and then they go and sit down where everybody's waiting for them with hot food on the table. Do not have a heart-to-heart while people are sitting at a table laden with Thanksgiving foods waiting for you. You monsters. If there's food on the table, you sit down and you eat, and you have the heart-to-heart before your nap.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Yes. Also, the biggest grievance here is that not only is Joe nowhere to be found, and we know why, because Jesse L. Martin is on hiatus right now, but Cecile isn't there either with the baby. Like, they're just having Thanksgiving on their own, and they don't. I thought that was weird.
Let's retcon that she had to go to her family out of town with the baby. Like, her family in Detroit said, we want to see the baby. Mm-hmm. Come home for Thanksgiving.
Okay. All right. They could have thrown in a line in there. They could have dropped that in there somewhere. I think that's...
You're right. They probably should have. Also, this is way beside the point, but if anybody can tell me where I can find a pillow with a fox wearing a flower crown, which was prominently featured on the couch during the Thanksgiving scene, let me know, because, oh my God, so cute. I want it. Okay, that's it.
Okay. So any news for Flash?
Just a reminder that this week's episode is the 100th episode. It's going to be Nora time traveling and visiting moments from Barry's past. So we're going to see some dark stuff, but we're also going to see apparently a super swoony romantic West Allen scene that I don't think we've seen before. So I'm super excited for this 100th episode with a lot of return of past villains and moments and maybe getting some new context. So I hope it doesn't disappoint.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So that's it. So next up, Black Lightning, Season 2, Episode 7, The Book of Blood, Chapter 3, The Sanjay. Jefferson and Anissa tried to protect Anaya and her twin babies from Looker and the Sanjay. Gamby tracked the Pierce family from his hotel room. Jennifer vented to Perenna her concerns about handling her powers and helping Khalil. Last minute reveal, Jennifer and Khalil jumped in a beautiful green convertible and drove out of Freeland.
I appreciate your appreciation of the beautiful convertible.
Well, I'm not a car guy, and I like. Is that a Chevy? It was really fancy, but I figure that would cover it. All right, it was just a really good looking car. It's like one of those. It's one of those like retro '50s models. That's just okay. We're just gonna drive into the sunset, or drive into the moonlight. But yeah, they're on their own. They're on the run. Right after Perenna tells Jefferson and Lynn, like, you're pushing her too much, and if she goes on her own, it's gonna be dangerous. So it's gonna get dangerous.
She warned them it's gonna get dangerous. And they've really established Jennifer's reasons for that, and the relationship she and Khalil are navigating and negotiating. That all felt very natural, and I understood where it was coming from, and we saw it coming. We saw it happening, and oh my God, this is such a like toxic thing that women do, but like, come on, Jennifer, you can save him. Reach out to him. He's so confused. You can save him, but also that's not your job. Don't let him drag you down with you, girl. So I'm very torn on this.
But yeah, it's weird because like I feel like they're making the wrong decision, but it also Jennifer just seems so mature in the way that she's handling this, and like she's practical, but she wants to help him, and you could tell that there's a lot of care that goes into her decisions here. And also like I feel like she's really getting a handle on her powers, and there's stuff that with like turning those lights out and guiding him with her voice. Like I'm interested to see like exactly how much that she could do.
Yeah, definitely. And I hope they have the special effects budget money to let us see that.
Yeah. No,
I did. I recently read the book The Power by Naomi Alderman, and it's about women who get the power of electricity in their bodies. And there's scenes about how their romantic intimate partners enjoy the jolts of power that they get, and there was a scene like that when she kind of zaps him with his power and he's like, ooh, do that again. So I feel like somebody read The Power and included that, and it was just for me. So thank you, writer, who did that. So here's shifting. Hey, was Looker that big a racist in the comics?
I have not read much of Looker. I don't think so. I think a lot of that's just kind of going here. Black Lightning hasn't had that many solo comics over the years. Most prominently, he was probably known as a member of the Outsiders in the 80s. So he hasn't had that many solo stories, and the Looker I remember being mostly an Outsiders villain. So this was a very different storyline. I'm sure Bowerfett's gonna tweet us and correct me if I'm wrong, so that's fine. But I thought, yeah,
she was dispatched kind of quickly there. I thought maybe she'd have more of an arc, but I guess once you end up impaled on a hanging rack in a store, that kind of does it for you.
Yeah, that'll do.
Are those things strong enough to pierce a human body?
Well, if there's enough force going into it, maybe. I don't know. I mean, like, he really threw her down.
He really did.
And I thought that fight scene, even though you could tell that definitely wasn't the actress, that was definitely a stunt woman playing Looker.
Why was that actress like a foot taller than the actress? The stunt double was a foot taller than the actress. Really, I had that noticed too. That was a great fight scene.
Yeah, it's forgiven because that fight choreography was insane.
Well, and I enjoyed the music too, and I don't always recognize the songs they play because I'm old and super lame, but I knew that one and I liked that one, and I was like, yes, fight to creator. But yeah, no, that was great, and I liked everything Jefferson did with his power and getting charged up, and yeah, the fights this week were really good.
Yeah, and when she had him tied up. And what's funny, the second she told them to electrocute him, I was like, oh no, Oh, this is perfect. Like I knew what was going to happen right away. Oh, they're being so stupid right now. This is going to be great. This is, you could tell he's charging up right now. Yeah. And the Gamby storyline, it was really small. He didn't get a lot, but also the fact that he's able to track cell phones, that to me was very scary. That the way he was able to track them was just hearing mentions of the Pierce family across the cell phones, all of the cell phones in Freeland, and that's, how he was able to pin them down and locate them. Like when you did that one weird conversation that just two random people were having about Jefferson getting fired. I think that revealed a lot about like Gamby's equipment. And kind of like the intrusive nature of his surveillance. Like, oof, I don't know. That made me feel weird.
It reminded him of whichever Batman movie that was when Alfred had to be like, no, I don't think so. But yeah, that surveillance power is, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was Dark Knight.
They all kind of blend together in my head. The ones with Catwoman, the ones without Catwoman. That's how they work for me. So.
Well, there was only one with Catwoman.
I know, and that's a problem. And then we have poor Grace. I don't think medicine's going to help that, Grace. I feel like penicillin is not going to fix that problem for you.
Yeah, and I know she was on the couch worried about that, but for some reason, until she went into the bathroom, I thought she was nervous that Anissa was there because of what happened last time. I was like, oh no, she doesn't really want Anissa there. Like, oh no, like she's kind of intruding, doesn't want to tell her to leave. And then like, oh no, it's because she's sick. Okay, that makes more sense. This is not an abusive relationship. I swear.
Awkward laugh. Super awkward laugh when we get to the news this weekend. Oh my god.
Oh, what happened?
Are we done with the episode?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, actually, some news about Black Lightning this week. Showrunner Salim Akil is facing, quote, very specific and deeply detailed, end quote, domestic violence charges from an actress he had a relationship with over the last several years. The WB is investigating. They're talking to the cast of the shows that he runs. They're looking into it. They're taking it seriously. It looks like I didn't get a sense that it was anything that was happening currently, that it had been in the past, maybe 10 or so years ago. But, that people are taking these allegations very seriously. And so they're doing an investigation. Akil seems like a big driving force and a big voice for this show in a way that I wonder, I wonder how much of the show gets its flavor from him, and if he were to be removed, and nobody is talking about that yet at all.
Yeah.
But what that would do to the show. He works on it with his wife, and he was married apparently when this alleged relationship happened. So I don't know. That's troubling. It's troubling because this is a show that I like, and I hate to see any kind of conflict behind the scenes. I wonder if some of the problems I had with Supergirl last season, it sort of lost its footing in the last half of the season. And that was after all the allegations against the producer who was working on that show. I hope Black Lightning is okay. And I hope any alleged victims are okay. And I hope anybody involved, I'll stop talking now. You say things.
Well, I don't really want to comment on this too much. Just to say that it's a really sad situation. That we just hope it resolves itself peacefully. And we will report on any further developments that relative to the show.
Yep. We wish comfort and peace to the people who need it. So yeah. So
right.
That's kind of a bummer way to end that.
All right. But we do have one more episode left to cover.
Yep.
And you ready?
Yes.
All right. Titans, Season 1, Episode 8, Donna Troy. Dick said goodbye to the team and visited his friend Donna Troy to do some soul searching. While traveling to Rachel's mom's house in Ohio, Corey began having visions and noticed she was being followed. Last minute reveal, Corey's mind was opened and she attacked Rachel.
So here's what I learned from this episode. If you have to be orphaned as a child, for sure get adopted by the Amazonians and not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne will turn you into a killing machine. The Amazonians will turn you into somebody cultured who works for peace and justice. So
yeah. Right off the bat, I do want to point out, at Bowerfett did tweet us this week. Last week, I was kind of wishy-washy on Donna Troy's origin story, and he points out, in Ed's defense, Donna Troy has a complicated backstory, clone of Wonder Woman to playmate of Diana, and to offspring of the Titans of old. The classic Titan storyline, Who is Donna Troy, is a start, but has been rewritten multiple times.
And that's kind of what I was trying to verbalize, that the conversation Jason and I had last week about it, and that he was getting her origin confused with Power Girl and getting them all mixed up because it was such a complicated, different set of whatevers. So that was, it sounds like she has a lot of iterations, but I really liked the version they gave us on Titans a lot.
Yeah, it was simple, clean. She's Diana Prince's ward, raised by the Amazonians, and has stopped being a hero, but didn't quit.
And weirdly, that made perfect sense to me. Yeah, she stopped. She didn't quit. I get that. And I think she lived that. We saw that in what she was doing. That was great.
Yeah. And I thought this was handled perfect. I want her as a regular on the show going forward. I thought, especially the dynamic that she had with Dick and the repartee, and there's kind of this weird little, there's this kind of like brother-sister thing that's going on, but also there's definitely some romantic tension in there somewhere, at least on Dick's, like you could tell Dick's really into her. And Donna's like, oh man, you are so wrong for me, but I love you. And it's gonna be interesting to see if kind of like a triangle, but a love triangle between them and Corey kind of like splurts out. If Corey even survives the next episode, or Rachel survives, we'll see. But yeah, I thought. Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to me because I always have my shipper glasses on, and I didn't really, they seemed more friendly than anything else to me, that they had good memories and obviously a history, but I don't know, I felt like that was a friendship first and foremost, and I really enjoyed that. Now, who knows how it could develop and unfold, and I just kind of don't want a love triangle to eat this show, because that can happen, and maybe it's just I just don't want that to happen. I'm not looking forward to that. And Donna's so great. I hate to see her defined as his ex or whatever, actually every woman who's been introduced on this show is his ex, isn't it? Dawn. Now Donna, does he only date Dons and Donnas until Corey came along? Maybe.
Well, don't forget Barbara Gordon. This is, and this I will tell you, that is the one thing, especially fans of Birds of Prey are like, come on. Where is Barbara Gordon in all of this? Although it's funny because like he never really had that relationship with Dove. And I don't think with Donna. But there was the triangle in the comics was always between Nightwing, Starfire, and Batgirl. And it was kind of like Dick was with Barbara Gordon in the Bat books and Starfire in the Teen Titans books. So we'll kind of see where that goes. But yeah, definitely. This character was great. I thought she brightened up the show a little bit, added a whole new aspect, and it's been great so far. But I think she kicked it up even further. And yeah, I can't wait to see where this is going.
And I liked the kind of crime she was trying to solve. I liked that she was trying to stop poachers, and that just I was surprised by that for some reason. It's always like drug dealers and child trafficking, and I was like, oh yeah, stop those poachers. Listen, if that bear had gotten out and killed all those poachers, that bear would be my winner of the week.
Yes.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
If he had.
If he had.
Week.
But yeah, you know, and I think she's going about it in a much smarter way than Hawk and Dove were in their episode. So
she's not likely to end up tossed off a building, that's for sure.
No. All right, and let's talk about Corey's storyline. So yeah, things got intense real fast.
I think it can be summed up with spaceship death orders, which is my all caps contribution to this.
Yeah, it's weird because like they kind of established that the asylum's done and that like that whole cult is not going to be going after them anymore, which I'll believe it when I see it. But like now it's the feds hunting down Corey because they think she has something to do with these murders. And yeah, I thought that was interesting. I think the way that she was reacting, like the fact that she just called out that one guy at the bar and just choking him when she wasn't sure that he was exactly a bad guy, I thought that was weird. I thought that Gar had gotten drugged for a second.
Oh, me too. 100% I did. I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
And you would think his metabolism would work through that a little more quickly. I don't know. I always kind of feel like a shapeshifter would flush that right out.
Okay. Yeah. What did you think of his conversation with Corey?
You know, I enjoyed that. We haven't seen the two of them interact much. I like her sort of older sister wisdom with warmth, but also coolness. Like she is cool, not coolness in her vibe that she has with him. I kind of thought her attacking that guy, it just shows the deterioration and the stress that she's under. And she has been interesting. She is still rocking that fur coat, and bless her. But yeah, no, I thought that conversation was good, was revealing, it's just nice to see that relationship, the team relationship developing, and a little bit of the mentorship. And I did. It was weird to me that they would separate, though. I really thought that they would stick together. I would have wanted that if it was me. It just seems like there's strength in numbers. But we would not have gotten that cool dining car. So
no. Does Angela? I think all of Angela's scenes with Rachel and with Gar and everything, just something about that actress's energy just feels awkward.
I don't trust her. I don't trust the character. That I guess maybe it's the energy that I'm responding to, but I just don't trust her. It feels too good to be true. It feels like it's a trap. I don't know if I'm just have been trained by a multitude of TV shows to not trust Return from the Dead parents. But she is an actress who I never completely enjoy in the things that she's in. I always find her a little aloof. She took over on Alias in the later seasons when Jennifer Garner was pregnant, and she was in what was that Canadian time travel show?
Continuum?
Yes, thank you. That was her, right?
Yeah.
Rachel Nichols, that's her name.
Okay. Yeah. She had different hair though, right? She had brown hair?
Yeah, she's always kind of blonde.
Okay.
She's always blondish.
But or maybe I'm thinking of somebody
else.
But
no, I always find her to be a little it was brown. You're right. I apologize. You are the expert on Rachel Nichols' hair, and I acknowledge that. And I'm sorry for trying to usurp you in there. But yeah, I never, she just doesn't quite jump off the screen the way the other characters do. And maybe she's not supposed to. She's been in an institution for all her adult life.
Yeah.
Maybe she is supposed to be faded and washed out. I don't trust her.
Yeah. This whole thing just felt that whole scene at breakfast with the sunrise and the hugs and it's just.
That was the fakest egg making I have ever seen. Come on.
I'm just talking about like, can I put my arm around you? And kind of like Gar, like not joining in the hug, but still, I'm just gonna stand next to you. That whole thing was just like awkward city, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to know what, is the town sheriff going to show up when he finds out that someone else is at that house? And like, what happens when you just abandon a house for 5 years and then just show up?
Well, who's been paying your property taxes? Is there a trust set up? Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't they repossess that? I don't know.
That's what Corey pointed out. Like, back taxes and a lot of mail. That's probably what you're going to find there. But yeah. So that's so we'll see. Lots of stuff. It seems like next week's episode is going to focus more on Hawk and Dove.
Yes, and I'm curious about that. I didn't love the first episode, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I wonder if the show is kind of trying to find its footing and its voice and its tone, and is this going to be an episode that I enjoy more? Is it going to fit with what we've been seeing? I don't know. But I'm curious. I am curious.
All right.
And let's see. The only little bit of news we have is in an interview with the actress who played Donna Troy. And by the way, that's Donna Troy's live action debut, right? We have not seen a live action Donna Troy prior to this.
I believe so. I believe that's correct. Yes.
Which cool. Anyway, she says that we are going to see some Wonder Girl accessories soon.
Ooh. Okay.
Accessories. So.
Okay. Get some bracelets. We'll see.
I will take it. She was great.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
and that was the only news?
That's it for episodes. Yep.
All right. So let's go to news for other shows.
Okay. So the CW crossover, which is coming up, it will be not this coming week, but the week after that. We have a whole new trailer that sort of pieces it all together. We see Jeremy Davies' evil Arkham Asylum doctor who is rewriting the timeline. We see evil Superman in an all-black suit. So yeah, I am ready for this to get here. We also have some pictures released of Cassandra Amell as Nora Freeze. We have some more looks at Batwoman. So they've been teasing us for so long. Please just give us the crossover. I'm ready for the crossover.
Come on, 2 more weeks. Let's get through this. Come on.
We can do it. And that coincides with the end of my semester and the beginning of my sabbatical. So the crossover is going to usher in freedom for me. Come on, crossover. Other news, Gotham. We have an official title for season 5, the final season. It's going to be Gotham: Legend of the Dark Knight.
Ooh, okay. Legends of the Dark Knight. Sorry, was a.
Thank you for saying it in the proper voice.
Yes, was the title of an Batman anthology series that ran through most of the 1990s. So that's what that's a reference to. You had some interesting things. That's where Venom was introduced, which is the serum that Bane uses. And yeah, that was basically a book that DC used to let all of these big name writers and artists say, "Hey, you want to do a Batman story?" And it's like, okay, take this book for 4 or 6 issues and just do whatever you want. So you have some interesting stuff that came out of that book. So but that's going to be the title for this season. So, I don't think that's an indication of anything specific, but I think it's definitely a throwback title and a reference to the comics.
I am interested and I am excited. We also have a bunch of set photos. We have the official promo shot for the new season, which to me looked like a pretty standard moody posing of the main characters. I didn't see anything particularly notable or unusual. Like nobody's suddenly missing an eye or like dressing in ways that would surprise us. Everybody's in dark, like leather. That's, whatever.
Okay.
We have also some set photos of the Penguin and Riddler in what looks like pretty classic costumes. What did you think about that?
I thought that was great. I was excited. I think seeing them suit up. I don't think Oswald doesn't look that fat.
No,
like they were
Shaw.
yeah, which is fine, but he definitely gets the characters down, and like this is going in a very, I mean, this show's always been kind of kooky, but this seems like it's going a little bit further into that straight camp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Camp is not a word I would necessarily use for Gotham at this point, but you're right. It does feel like it nudges it. What's kind of interesting, that article on Comic Book Resources suggests that this could be a time jump that would explain the different costume, the evolution of the costume. And as evidence, they point to a picture that we have seen of Jim Gordon on set with what looks like noticeably grayer hair. Ed, is his hair gray or is it the light?
I don't know. It was taken outdoors. It was kind of, it was very bright outside. I didn't know if it was just the lights. It's definitely not, if it's not like straight up gray. It just looks more like a salt and pepper kind of thing. So I don't know.
Well, and if I recall correctly, he does not have a stash.
No, he doesn't, which is a problem. That's a problem. So yeah.
Let's see. Last little bit of Gotham news. Bruce and Alfred have filmed their final scene together as of this week, so it is wrapping up.
All right. Not too long to wait. Just a month away.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's right around the corner. Okay. Let's see. Moving on to Lucifer. We have a title for the finale that was posted on social media, and it was a little bit redacted. The title is Redacted, King of Hell. There's a black box obscuring the name of the King of Hell. And if you really want to do a deep dive into it, the black box looks a little long to be Dan. It looks maybe a little short for Amenadiel, but it looks a little long for Lucifer. Like if you really want to figure out the pikas or whatever of how many letters or how many characters could fit in there, you could really go hard on this if you wanted to. But it is kind of fun to speculate. It could be Detective Douche, King of Hell. That could work.
Okay. Could it be Chloe, King of Hell? I know she would be a queen technically, but.
Chloe, I thought about that too. King genders it so much, it really does eliminate a lot of choices. It looked too short for either Chloe or Ella, which is a little disappointing because that would have been the subversion of that would have been interesting. But we could, maybe everybody's a king. Doesn't matter your gender identity. You're the king when you're in hell. Maybe that's it.
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe.
Only time will tell.
Honestly, Charlotte seems like a name that would fit the size of that box. Charlotte, King of Hell.
All right.
Oh, I could see it.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Oh, Ed, best news of the week.
What's that?
Preacher. We're getting season 4. We're getting season 4.
Yay!
I was worried.
I was too. I mean, especially when he got that job on the other show, I thought ooh, I don't know, but it worked out. All right. Any more details on or
just that the action's moving to Australia, which I don't recall any specific storylines from the comics set in Australia. If I'm wrong, do let us know at DCTV Report on Twitter. I don't know if there's some sort of tax incentive. The Leftovers did their last season in Australia. The Good Place has done its most recent season a lot in Australia, or at least it's set there. I don't know if they're filming there. So is Australia giving that sweet production money away? I don't know, but Australia we're headed for.
Yeah, also Australia and like New Zealand, like that area seems to be a lot of productions go when you're shooting someplace that doesn't look like modern America. So if they're going to be spending a lot of time at Harry Starr's compound, I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that's out there in Australia, or if we're going to be doing a lot of jumping around to exotic locations, Australia may be a good place to
that's a good point. The Shannara Chronicles was filmed in New Zealand, and that had some of the most beautiful green, lush, sort of medieval forest fantasy settings. That's not a Preacher vibe at all, but it does give you a lot of variety, I think, in the settings that you can get to pretty quickly, I imagine. So anyway,
Yeah.
Preacher Season 4, headed to Australia. I'm freaking pumped for that. That's really exciting.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll turn into like, Wild West, if you get like a lot of like Old West type locales, if they go to like ghost towns or something.
Okay, people who've read the books, I think we can all picture what they might be going for there. Yeah, there's some Wild West stuff out there that they could be doing.
Good. All right.
Season 4, yes. All right. Last news of the week. Stargirl.
Stargirl music.
Some casting.
Okay.
Yvette Monreal and Christopher James Baker have been cast as regulars, but their characters are undisclosed. So Yvette Monreal looks like a younger woman. Christopher James Baker, I'd say, is more of a middle-aged character actor type, kind of skinny with an interesting face. Is that how we talk about character actors?
Okay.
Sorry, Christopher James Baker, you're more than just your looks. So we don't really know who they're going to be playing, but they are going to be regulars.
All right, cool. I'm up for it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. And that here endeth the news of the week.
All right. So that's the news. So that means now it's time for our winners of the week. Can I go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So my winner for this week is Manchester Black. I think that he established himself as a really strong character. There's a dynamic going on. He's a loose cannon. You don't really know whose side he's on. He's on his own side. I thought that the way he double crossed Kara and handed her over to get that audience with Agent Liberty, who turned out not to be Agent Liberty. I think that again, I think that it's very true to that character from the comics, and I think it's very dangerous, that the waters he's tipping into, but he's showed up at that Lockwood Steel plant, and I'm wondering if he's going to be the one who figures out Agent Liberty's true identity and leads to taking him down.
Yeah, this Supergirl would not be anywhere this season without Manchester Black moving things forward, I don't think. I mean, I think he's the one pushing narrative and discovery, and his character is leading to a lot of forward motion for the characters. I agree.
All right.
But I feel like my winner of the week is the exact opposite of that. And that is girlfriends bonding over cake and wine. I want scenes of characters I love eating cake and drinking too much wine and exchanging stories about men and their lives and growing up and frustrations at work. And if it has to happen in like a containment cell to keep in magical beasts, so be it. That was amazing. Legends of Tomorrow. Thank you. I wanted to join them for cake and wine. That looked so fun. I love this show so much. Okay. Also, I just like cake and wine. Like, put that out there, and I'll go to that party. Cool.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Okay. Those are our winners for the week. Varied though they are, and that's gonna be the. I hope you guys had a lot of fun listening to us. But that's gonna be the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Edward O'Hare TBD.
I'm at Sara Netzley, SARANETZLEY.
And be sure to follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister shows, the Wicked Theory Podcast and Preacher vs. Preacher. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer, Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam.
Shazam!